What's up, guys? Iceman here. So do you guys ever try to talk to your loved ones about the stuff that we've discussed on this channel? Your loved ones, your friends, your family, people you go to church with, or people you used to go to church with. Let me know in the comments below. There's this guy that I've known for a long time, right? He's a good guy. Well, good, right? Not one is good. Biblically speaking, other than God, but he's a good guy. And he's been in the church his whole life. Christian school, this and that and the third, right? So we grew up together. And there's this sort of bond that you have, I think, with someone that you've known your whole life, where I think you're a bit more willing to excuse their behaviors or the things that you disagree with them on. But I was sitting across the table from this guy, and I brought up to him, I said, hey, what if Jesus already returned? Right? And he looks at me, he's like, no. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I don't know. It's like the Bible said, well, little red words of Christ in the New Testament anyway. He said this generation will not pass until all these things come to fruition, this, that, and everything else. Some of you standing here will not taste death until you see me coming from the sky. You know what I mean? And then I pointed out to him all the weird old ancient buildings and the idea that maybe the rapture already happened. I'm not saying I believe in this. I just am willing to explore the ideas. All right? And it seemed like he wasn't. He was a little bit. I'm really not trying to talk crap about him. In fact, he was more accepting to it than what I was expecting. But it just gave me the general sense that if this guy that I knew my whole life, if it's hard, to kind of get in there a little bit and maybe expand things a little bit, you know what I mean? Open up that mind a little bit. If it's hard to break on through with that, how much more difficult would it be with anyone else, especially with someone that you don't even know? And I think a lot of people who are discussing this stuff, discussing the idea that, yeah, there was these big, giant Nephilim, this and that. Genesis 6 talks about them. They were huge. They were there in the days of Noah and thereafter, and they bred with the daughters of man. And all those amazing things, the pyramids, and they made those. All little precise cuts. They had this ancient technology. And there were these huge trees. You ever read the Book of Enoch? I haven't read the Book of Enoch, personally. I don't know if I want to. I mean, do you think God's looking out for us or not? I mean, I don't really know. They say The things in the Bible have changed. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Mandela effect thing, or the Daniel 7:25 effect, rather. Lying down with the lamb, really? Isn't that what it was? Says it's lying down with a wolf. God sneers, God winks. I thought winking was mad. I thought it was bad. That's what it says in the Proverbs, doesn't it? Has this stuff really been changing? But you know what I'm getting at? It's like, what do you do when you're opened up to this stuff, when these seals are ripped apart, and you just can't unsee it, you know? And that whole foundation of your ideology or your faith or whatever, it's like shattered or something. How do you talk to these people? And then you're like, yeah, the Nephilim, there's this one guy on YouTube who says they look like clowns. They're like, what? You're like, yeah, the red lipstick, the cannibalism. Like, yeah, the imagery, how they're really tall compared to the children who are small. It's like giants. It's like Genesis 6 all over again. Like, yeah, these guys cut down those big trees. These big trees were 50,000 feet tall. They reached the heavens. That's what it said in the book of Enoch, didn't it? You got all these ancient depictions of these massive trees. You're like trying to talk to these people, and they're like, what the hell? This guy's crazy. You're like, well, we should see what the pastor has to say about this. This is what he says. I'm not trying to tell on him. I'm just saying. That's just how these people kind of react, you know? They're like, oh, we should talk to pastor about this. And my thoughts are, do you think pastor really read his freaking Bible anyway? Of course pastor's not going to say that. It changed. Of course he's not going to say, oh, yeah, you're right. It did say Lion and the Lamb back then, didn't it? Yeah, it just changed. I mean, it's crazy that the Bible in the corner, the one that's been here for 50 years, how somehow it changed. I just read it 10 years ago, He's not going to say that. They're just going to be like, oh, no. Because they don't want to say that, because that's not... I didn't really know how to say this to my buddy. But that's not how his business is built. And I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with that. I mean, like, religion or something? You know how Jesus kind of broke the paradigm or whatever of what those scribes and Pharisees had back then, and they memorized the freaking Bible themselves. He kind of broke that. I can't help but wonder if the Creator, God, Jesus, I think, is using the foolish or the humble or whatever to stump the wise. I mean, you got all these church leaders in modern times, and they're all there's like these fundamental things that they can't let go of, you know what I mean? And it's all built around that. Like if they can't say, oh yeah, if they were to say it's mystically changing before their eyes, like the scriptures, that's gonna, like, people are gonna be like, well, what can we trust? They're gonna be like, people are gonna freak out. They're gonna be like, I'm gonna stop tithing. I'm gonna stop going here. They're not gonna get the money anymore, really. They can't say that. And it's like, know what pastor's gonna say? Pastor's not going to like it. Who cares what pastor has to say about it? I mean, I guess I need to remain humble, right? But didn't he go out and use the fisherman? Didn't he go out and use the tax collector or something? I don't know, but all I'm saying is it could be, how do you approach it, you know? Do you guys, like, I noticed some of you in the comments of my previous videos, some of you guys seem like you're on fire about it. Like, you can't not talk about it to your friends, you know? And it's like causing divisions and divides, and it's like breaking things. But you know how I've been handling it? I just kind of changed the subject. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, let's find something that we can agree on. Like, hey, what about that new heaven and new earth, huh? Does that sound nice? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. Yeah, no more suffering, the toil. I really don't like the toil. I'll never like the toil. I hate the toil. I hate the things of the curse. I'm not going to lie. It sucks. The sweating of the brow. The toiling through the thorns. The scratching, the scathing, the bleeding, the suffering. I hate it. And I've always hated it. Well, you know, maybe it's not going to last. But I mean, it's probably there for disciplinary purposes and refinement, right? I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that, but what do you guys have to say about that? Let me know in the comments below. But what do you do with all that, you know? With like your you go, you see your common churchgoer or whatever. I mean, if I had to be honest with you guys, I haven't been to a church, like a service, attended the service, in about 8 or 9 months. I'm not ashamed. I don't really care, honestly. I mean, there's something good to be said about the fellowship that you have and all that. I mean, I like the small groups. I took part in the little small group sometimes. But then the guys usually just start filtering out, and then I'm like the last freaking one. That only happened like once. Maybe twice. And yeah, I bailed on one myself before. But I'm just saying, I haven't really been to a church service in about 9 or 10 months. And it used to be because I couldn't stand what they would say up there, you know? It's like, oh yeah, everybody's going to be burning in hell for all eternity. Oh yeah, God's going to be watching them, you know? But I'm like, what about the reconciliation of all things, man? What about every knee will bow, every tongue will confess, and anyone who calls upon his name will be saved? You know, what about that? You know, what about everything being made through Jesus Christ? You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, I'm not going there with this video. But that's not really why I stopped going. I just wanted to take a step back and breathe and ponder and think. You know? But how are you guys dealing with that? I think some of you guys, you're really, you're taking it to heart big time. Like, you're like, oh my God, I got it. No, listen. And then they're like, no, I don't believe you. No, get back. No. Millennial reign, are you kidding me? No. That's later. That never happened before. The Nephilim, what? You know, the little season, what? Satan's deceiving the nations, this and that and the third? No, what? And then you're like, no, you gotta believe me. And then they're like, no, I'm not gonna, get back. They're like, get back. And then it causes the sort of, I mean, it's like, it causes, you know what I mean? That mysterious, undesirable tension. That's not good either. Let me know in the comments, how are you guys handling that? With the people you love, if you love anybody. With your family, your friends, your wife, your significant other. How do you handle talking about these things? Or do you just shell up? And what's it like when you can't get through to somebody to maybe open their mind a little bit, or maybe you're the one who can't? But let me know in the comments below, and like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace be with you.